The final team here in the AFC South, we do have the Tennessee Titans. They lost in the playoffs last year to the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson got his first win, but King Henry did his thing in the regular season, over 2,000 yards. Combs, what do you have the record as this year?
They have a down season this year. They've got a tough schedule outside of the division, and they're going to have trouble beating the Colts, which I don't think that they're going to do this year. So it gives them 2 more losses, and so I have them at 7-10 this year.
7-10. What game do you have circled to watch?
So it's going to be the Colts matchup, week 3. I mean, that's going to be the test. I have them at 0-2 heading into that matchup as well. So that could be something that can get them back into the division and get them back, into the swing of winning. However, I don't have them winning this game. I have them losing to the Colts. Luckily for them, they get the Jets and the Jaguars in consecutive weeks after that. But I have them starting the season 0-3. But that week 3 matchup against the Indianapolis Colts is absolutely going to be one that, could make or break their season.
So since they're 7-10, let's say they win that week 3 game, is this a 10-7 team?
I don't think so. Just because look, their out of division schedule consists of Buffalo, Kansas City, the Rams, New Orleans, and San Francisco. So I don't see them being that team. If they do pull off a win against Indy, then that makes them an 8-9 team as opposed to a 7-10 team. They're just not. I'm not a big believer in the Tennessee Titans. I'm not a big believer in their quarterback. I'm not with you on the King Henry's best days are behind him. I think that he's a beast and he's a freak of nature and he'll still find a way to get his 1,000 yards. But I just don't have them being very successful this year. It's a down year for the Titans, I think.
King Henry is a beast for 8 games a season, so 50% of the time.
I'll take 8 games a season. And still getting over 1,000 yards. I mean, that's
true. Tori, what is your record for the Tennessee Titans?
I am the exact same as Brandon on this. I have them regressing this year. I have them going back to 7-10. I think Tannehill takes a step back this year. And I said earlier, I think the loss of Corey Davis is going to affect that wide receiver core more than they anticipate. So I think you're going to see a lot more double teams on A.J. Brown, which is going to hurt his productivity, and he will not have Tannehill won't have that security blanket that he can just chuck it over to A.J. Brown all the time. They lost what's his name, the tight end, Jonnu Smith.
Yeah. And A.J. Brown's going to get he's going to get double teamed a lot this year.
Every time.
100%.
So they are a prime candidate to take a step back this year. And I think they do. Their defense is not great. So I don't see it. I see them taking a step back. I see them being mediocre at best. And maybe they go to 8-9. If everything falls exactly right for them, they might pull off 9-8, but I still don't see them doing much. I can't see them going above 500 this year.
Yeah, and that's exactly where I have them is at 9-8. So anytime you get 11 win season and you have a 2,000 yard guy on your team, and then he even if King Henry doesn't get 2,000, like let's say King Henry leads the league on the ground and he still has 1,600 yards. That's still 400 yards less on the ground, and that equals to at least 3 or 4 wins that they're taking off the win column just because they're not grounding and pounding and keeping the opposing team offense off of the field. And I want to disagree with you guys a little bit. I think Ryan Tannehill slings the ball around a lot this season, and he throws for 250 yards plus every game. But that's not the Titans' formula, and they have a 9-8 season. The game that I have circled on the slate here is Week 7, where the Kansas City Chiefs come into town. Not because they're my Kansas City Chiefs, but I think that is a measuring stick. Because I said the Buffalo Bills are the measuring stick for the Colts, I think the Chiefs are the measuring stick for the Titans. That will really show you where you're at going into the rest of the year.
And Luke G chimes in and says Titans versus Colts will be interesting because Titans are a run team and Colts are as well. It will come down to good old coaching and defense. I would take the Titans in that game. See, I disagree. I think the Colts are the better defense.
Yep.
I think the Colts are going to be the better coach team, even
They're
though
the
I
better
do like
offensive
the
line, too.
Titans coach. I do like the Titans coaching staff. But I think that not only that, but I think that Carson Wentz adds a different element to this offense. He's a scrambling quarterback, and I think that he corrects what was going on with him in Philadelphia just because, look, it was just a bad situation. He didn't want to be there, and they didn't want him there. And I think that this team right here, the Colts were the only team, and I said this when he was becoming a free agent and wanted out of Philadelphia, the Colts are the only team where Carson Wentz will succeed.
So, Tori, who is your team MVP for the Titans going forward?
Oof. I'm gonna have to go with King Henry again, just because the guy's got a proven track record. The guy is an absolute beast. I think you are wrong that he takes a step back this year. Do I think he's a 2,000-yard rusher? No, I do not.
Well, you have to take a step back if you're not a 2,000-yard guy. Right?
How many people have ever had back-to-back 2,000-yard seasons?
Nobody from that I can think of.
Are you going to say that a guy, if he runs for 1,700 yards, that he had a bad season? No.
That is what you guys did to Patrick Mahomes. He didn't throw for 5,000 yards and was out for 3 games.
No,
like, oh,
first of all, you're the one who's down on Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, you're the one
none
that
of us
said
are down on Patrick Mahomes.
You're the one that said